Let's talk about Koala Writer. It's an AI writing tool that's taking the niche space and blogging space by storm. So in this video, I want to do a review of Koala Writer. I want to show you how I use it. I want to show you how I used it to rank an article on page one for my site. We'll talk about the pricing, the value, is it worth it, and all the different things that you can do with Koala Writer. All right, so here is one of my sites that I am testing Koala Writer on. It's a grilling and barbecue site. And to be clear, this domain is only a few months old. It only has like 25 articles on it. It's a DR2, meaning there's no age, there's no authority, any kind of stuff like this. This article was originally published a few weeks ago. Okay, I'm going after the keyword hamburger temperature guide, and I I wrote the first draft with Koala. Okay, and as of today, I'm inside of Ahrefs. I just updated the SERP a couple of minutes ago. I also checked incognito. So for this keyword, right, it's a longer tail informational keyword, 200 search volume, KD of 7. I'm ranking at the bottom of page one for this keyword. You can see there, this is my site here. It's a DR2, right? This is not really a low competition keyword per se. There's definitely some higher DR sites that are ranking on page one, but with Koala, I was able to really generate a first draft very quickly, and then I went in and edited the content, put it in my own voice, and I'll talk about the workflow more later. But just to show you proof that A, I'm actually using the tool, B, the content itself is ranking on a newer site with zero authority. All right, so I'm using it. Here's a little example of one of the posts on my site. Now let's talk about kind of the different features of Koala, how to use it, and the pricing. All right, so this is the UI of Koala Writer. Again, it is a one-click AI writer that's, focused on longer form content. So there's also a Koala chat, which frankly I don't use, but if you want to check that out as well, there's that feature here. But let's talk about kind of what's here, okay? So the first thing that you have to understand is at the time of this recording, you can use two different versions of GPT, okay? So there's 3.5, which is the older version, and there's version 4 of GPT, which is much better, right? And because it's much better, it consumes 5 times the amount of credits, okay? Koala Writer goes on a credit-based system where you purchase X amount of words per month. And if you use GPT-4, which I do recommend, it's going to cost you 5 times as many words. So that's something you need to be aware of. It can be slightly confusing if you've never used a tool like this, but when you go in to create your first article, this is the first option you need to choose, 3.5 or 4. Again, I always choose 4 because it's still really cheap and I want to go after the highest quality content possible. All right, after you choose your GPT version, then you're going after, or you have to select your article type, okay? There's only 2 options right now. One is a standard article or a standard blog post, which is what I've been using Koala for on my site. Now, they do have an Amazon product roundup where it will automatically find the best products on Amazon using up-to-date product data, specs, reviews, and more. So you give it a keyword like best dog food. You tell it how many products you want. They have this option now here where you can enable firsthand experience to make it sound like you've used the product, and a bunch of different options here if you want to input your tracking ID and so on and so forth. Just being honest, I don't use it for product reviews. It's clear where Google is going in order to rank product review content. They want to see that you have your hands on the product. So I don't use Koala for the product roundups, but I wanted to show you that the option is there. Now, again, I use it entirely for longer form content, right? So I'm going to select blog post. Then you have to select your target keyword, right? What is the target keyword that you want to rank for in Google? So I'm going to run this, right? I'm going to use some of my credits. So I'm going to use it for a keyword that I'm actually going to go after eventually, right? I'm in the barbecue and grilling niche. Here is a long tail keyword, informational type keyword that Koala does really well with that, I'm going to use in this example, right? So it's how to tell if steak is bad. We've got pretty good search volume here. There's mostly medium to high authority sites ranking on page 1, but here's a DR28, a DR37 on page 1. So, it's a keyword that I want to go after, right? So I've got my keyword here, how to tell if steak is bad, right? So I'm just going to go into the target keyword and paste it in. Okay, so here's the keyword that I'm going after. Now, for SEO optimization, I think this is a newer feature here where you can select you can either enter or have Koala choose for you a list of keywords to use in the article, right? I like to select AI powered here. And what that means is that we will analyze top ranking pages and extract up to 100 topically relevant keywords and entities to use in your article. This results in a much more comprehensive article. So it's going to try to input or insert relevant keywords, relevant topics in the article as it's writing it. So I like to enable this feature on. Then these next couple of options are really up to you. Tone of voice, for my niche, which is, grilling and barbecue, I think that's kind of a friendly tone of voice, but there's a lot of different options for you to choose from depending on your preference. So I'm going to choose friendly. My language and my audience is US. And then point of view, again, this is totally up to you, but I like to write in the second person where I'm speaking to my audience. Okay, now we have really cool features here, which is we can enable real-time search results. So where it says, if enabled, we will fetch search results for each section and use that data to help generate the article, right? So this is what helps set Koala apart from a lot of the AI writers that are on the market right now, is that it's accessing the internet. It's scraping the Google results, looking at the top ranking articles to see what keywords, to see what entities they're using to help generate an article and or generate an outline, which we're going to talk about next. So I also have cite sources enabled, where it's going to try to cite the source on where they're getting the information. Now, this next option is up to you. I do encourage you to tick it on, which is to have Koala create an outline for you. Now, if you do not choose this option, right, it's going to, when you hit that button, create article, it's going to write the article and start using your credits. And it might be structured in a way, the article might be structured in a way that you didn't like, right? So I definitely encourage you to click Use Outline Editor, right? So if enabled, an outline will be created before your article is written. So it's not going to use up any of your credits yet. It's going to give you a chance to look at the outline. Now, there are options here. If you have your own outline, right? Let's say for whatever reason you want to do your own outline research, you can give that outline to Koala. It can take header 2s right now and header 3. So you can go H2, H3, H3, H2, right? Give it the outline yourself. That's an option. I'm not going to do that right now. You can give it extra prompts in the title and different sections. I'm not going to do that either, but I just wanted to show you those options. So I'm going to click Create Outline. I'm going to pause the video and then let you know roughly how long it took to generate the outline. All right, so I kept an eye on my clock. That took about 3 minutes for Koala to, again, it's going to have to fetch the search results, the top ranking pages to help generate the outline. So it does take a couple of minutes. And here you can see the outline that it generated. So we've got our intro, and then it gets in to the article. Again, how can you tell steak is bad? Well, there's visual signs, okay, like discoloration, texture changes and mold, the smell test, checking the dates, and then kind of, how to store and handle your steak after you're done cooking. We got risks and precautions and so on and so forth. So you can accept this outline as is, right? And then click write the article. Or a really cool feature is that you can completely customize this article. For example, I don't like any AI tools to write my intros or my conclusions. I just think it's fluff. And when you're getting charged on a per word basis, I like to delete those, right? So I can just hover over this X button and delete any part of the outline. So I did that. I deleted the intro. Now, as you can see, we've got H2s and we've got H3. So if I hover over this H2, I can edit the name of it, okay, right? So it says visual signs. I can edit that section name, and I can give it, if I wanted to, an extra prompt down here. And here, it's also showing me the keywords, entities, and topics that the AI is going to try to integrate into this specific section. So that's really, really cool stuff. Now, I can also reorder any part of the outline, right? So right now it's discoloration, texture, and mold. But if I wanted to have mold first, it's just drag and drop, right? I can drag and drop any part of this outline up and down, and H2 to H3. So I can make mold in H2 just by dragging it to the left, or I can bring it back to the right as an H3. So the outline is fully customizable with what they provide you here. Not only that, you can add sections of your own. So if you spot something that you think is missing, then we can add a section just by clicking this button. So I really like this part of Koala. It is very, very customizable to get your outline right before you start using the words. All right, so that's the outline. Again, I'm going to hit write article. I'm going to keep an eye on my clock, and then I'll let you know how long it took to actually produce the article. So actually, I hit write article, and it immediately started writing. So I wanted to kind of show you the tool as it's writing. So it's how to tell if steak is bad. Quick and simple steps, and then it just gets right into the content, right? Starting with the visual signs, the discoloration, and it's going to write the article. And what it also does is it updates you on the word count in the top right-hand corner, which I think is pretty cool. But this is where I'm going to pause the video and tell you how long it takes instead of keeping you on. But I wanted to just show you when I hit write article, it immediately jumped into the document and started writing. Let's just figure out how long it's going to take. All right, so Koala has stopped writing. Oh, actually, it's still writing. I thought it was over. We're at about 1,230 words. It said happy cooking. Right now, this is 6 minutes in, so I guess I hit it too soon. But anyway, let's go through the article. Hopefully, it'll finish going. So how to tell if steak is bad, quick and simple tips. So what I like about Koala is it gives us the formatting pretty good with, you know, the headers. Let's see if it did any bullet points. Okay, sometimes it'll even give you a table. So the formatting is definitely a step up from standard ChatGPT. That's the first thing. Number two is that it is trying to cite its sources. So you can see right here, it's underlined brown, yellow, or sometimes even green. And you can see my hyperlink in the bottom left-hand corner where it's linking out to ownthegrill.com. So again, you can enable that feature where it's going to cite the sources for you, which I think is pretty cool as well. Other than that, it's going to follow the outline pretty much exactly as you wrote it. Again, we've got some bullet points here, more citing of sources down here. Let's see if we've gotten to the end of the article yet. More bullet points here. So we're on 1,511 words. It's been 7 or 8 minutes. Let me pause again until it's fully finished. Article generation while scraping the real-time Google search results. By far, those two features combined, in my opinion, is what sets Koala Writer apart. That article took about 9 minutes. I did go back and forth roughly, just to give you a rough idea. And here's the article, right? So let's talk about the quality of the article. This is still AI content, right? There's some people who don't really get it. They think these AI writers are going to write, you know, New Yorker type human content. That's not what these tools are for. The use case here is a couple of different ways to use this type of content, which I'll talk about in a second. But the quality of the content, it's still AI content, right? But the way that I like to use it as a first draft for me, and everyone has a different risk tolerance, right? For me, I'm going to use this as a first draft and go in and heavily rewrite it, heavily put it in my voice, right? That's what I did here, right? I'm talking about myself. Like a lot of folks, including me, like our burgers cooked medium rare to medium. I wrote that sentence. It didn't come from Koala. So again, heavily rewrite, heavily edit. That's my use case for using Koala right now. For you, it could be different. Some people like to use it to just blast out AI sites for whatever reason, to do a case study, maybe publish 1,000 articles. And they do have a bulk mode feature as well, which I'm going to open right now so I don't forget to talk about it. You can feed Koala 1,000 keywords and it will create 1,000 articles. And then they have a WordPress integration as well, if that's your cup of tea. But again, my use case, I consider this first draft content that I'm going to go in and heavily edit, heavily put it in my voice. But I love staring at 1,800 words of content instead of staring at a blank page. I now have the structure of the article. I have the main ideas as well. I can just put it in my own voice. Now, to be clear, this is AI content. So it's probably not going to do well on an AI tool, but I know a lot of you folks are wondering about this. So, Koala has this copy feature, so I'm going to copy it. Originality.ai, one of the better AI detection tools out there, if that's your thing. So I'm just going to paste the entire thing in here. And again, this is going to come up, if I had to guess, as high AI content because it is AI content. So I'm going to hit scan now and it's going to be 100. Yeah, 100% AI. So if you're worried about, well, let's put it this way. If you're publishing content straight from Koala to WordPress, then you're not worried about whether it's AI detected or not, right? Otherwise, you wouldn't be doing it. But I just wanted to show you, this is AI content, so it will score as AI content. Now, if you're using it as first draft content and you want to rewrite it, right, then maybe it might make sense to put it in a tool like that. Now, I got to be honest. I don't think I scored this article, so I'm going to do it live, or not live, but on this video right here. Does it matter whether there's an AI score or not? I think that's a whole new video. Some people think it's a big deal. Some people say as long as the content is helpful, Google probably doesn't really care. But this is an article, again, that was first draft AI. I went in and heavily rewrote it and heavily edited it. And you can see here it's scoring as an original 97. Now, again, if you care about that kind of stuff, I just wanted to show you that video. But again, that's kind of the quality of the content. Now, another step that you can do is put it into a tool like Surfer, right? So I've got my Surfer content editor lined up here. How to tell if steak is bad. I chose my competitors, and we can see, how well optimized is it, right? So I took that directly from Koala. 0 editing. I didn't do one thing. It's scoring a 62 out of 100 in Surfer. Again, if you're interested in that type of thing, the average is 67. So if you care about these on-page SEO tools, I think that's a really, really good sign from Koala, scoring a 62 fresh out of the box. All right, let's spend a minute on bulk mode here because I think this is a newer feature. Again, if that's your use case, where you want to test thousands of articles in Google and to see if you can rank and get traffic and put ads on your site, that's not everyone's cup of tea, but for some people it is. So they do have bulk mode, right? Generate any number of articles at once. Get started by providing an unlimited number of keywords in the target keyword box, each keyword on a new line. and Koala is going to write it in the background so you can go to lunch or whatever and come back and see your articles pop up in the sidebar. And the settings are the same, right? You choose GPT-4, blog posts, new keywords on a new line, and they also have a WordPress integration, right? Because if you're doing bulk, you're probably publishing straight away. You're not gonna edit and tweak 1,000 articles. It'll publish as a draft directly to your WordPress site. So this is a really, really cool feature if this is your thing. All right, let's talk value. Let's talk pricing. Pricing on tools do change, but this is what it looks like right now. They have a lot of different plans, as low as $9 per month if you just want to get your feet wet and test it out. Now, very important to understand, and they do say it up at the top of the page, is that this word count number is for GPT 3.5. Remember, we talked at the top of the video, if you want to use GPT-4, which I do recommend, it's 5 times the amount of credit. So you have to do a little math. Honestly, I think they should put both word counts on the pricing page just to be super transparent, right? 100,000 words is GPT 3.5. If you use 4, you have to divide by 5. So it's 20,000 words for $50 per month, which is still a really good deal, right? 20,000 words. If you're writing, I don't know, 1,500 word articles, let's do the math. I don't know, 13 articles is that for $50, right? That's 4 words an article. Don't quote me on that top of my head math. Let's call it $4 an article. Using GPT-4 as a first draft, I think is a really good value. Now, obviously, the prices in the words will change depending on how high your plan is, right? You can go up to, where do they go? $2,000 per month, and you get 2 million words on GPT-4. But again, there's a lot of different plans depending on what your budget is, depending on how many words you need. And I do think it's a really great value considering what we're getting, right? 1-click article generation, custom outlines, live access to the internet, scraping the results in Google to help build the outline, to help build the content. So I'm using Koala Writer. I'm a paying customer. I think it's the best tool on the market right now. Let me know what you guys think. All right, thanks, guys.